Jesse, wake up. Easy there, Chuck Norris.
Oh, this place is nice. Oh, sorry. I just beat the shit out of our new dog. This is our new family pet. I call him Giuseppe. I like it. I like Giuseppe.
It's not Giuseppe. We discussed this.
Fine. We'll call him Toto. God, you're a fucking loser.
What?
I was just gonna compliment you and say how, this place is, you're coming up in the world. It's pretty fucking nice in here.
Thanks, Slippy.
Look, I got a nice little fireplace. It's really hot, and then the back of my skin's kind of melting, which you don't really care about, but I kind of do. I'm kind of sticking to my seat, which is kind of weird. You're not the psychopathic, schizophrenic, delusional, decrepit, torturing piece of motherfucking stupid-ass, ugly shit that everybody thinks you are. You may have a soft spot, my friend.
Keep fucking around. I swear to God. I swear to God.
I was complimenting you. Anyways, guys, it's Wednesday. I got my famous chain on, and obviously, I'm looking famished because it's Wednesday, and that means we have another fight coming up this weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Bellator 206. One, if not the biggest non-UFC card probably ever to date. We're gonna start it off with...
I love UFC. It doesn't suck.
I never said UFC sucks. I'm saying that it's the best I can't get into it right now, man. It's like you don't listen.
You don't listen.
No, you don't listen! Oh, the lights are back. Nice. I like it. It feels all Christmassy. It's nice. First off in the card, the rematch that we are talking about, the biggest tournament in MMA history. Andre fucking Koreshkov, Douglas Lima going head to head. It is literally former welterweight champ, in my opinion, the best striking welterweight of all time, in Douglas Lima, going up against another former welterweight Bellator champion in Andre Koreshkov. We're going to talk about Andre Koreshkov. He is 2-1 in his last 3 fights. His last loss coming against Douglas Lima by devastating knockout. Kabow! Coming off a nasty knockout against Vaso Bikocevic. I have had it up to fucking death with these stupid names.
What the fuck are you gonna do about it?
I'm obviously not gonna do anything about it.
With your unfinished dinky arms.
So funny, yeah. And before that, beating another formidable opponent and Chadi Njokuani. Andre Koreshkov is as devastating as they come. He actually has a previous victory against Douglas Lima too. They met a few years back in the first outing, winning him by decision. Although I didn't really see it in that way, it was nonetheless a victory for him on paper, and it was an amazing performance, to be honest. He also ruined the Bellator debut of former lightweight UFC champion and Benson Henderson. Shut the UFC hype train right the fuck up. He can submit you. He's got amazing wrestling. There's no question he can go 25 minutes, even though this is a 15-minute fight. He's also got devastating striking from all different angles. But this is something that Douglas Lima is not afraid of. You know why? Because Douglas Lima has all the same things, except maybe not as superior as wrestler as Andre Koreshkov, but he's a far superior striker. So that's going to be the difference in this fight. He's got to keep that distance, use those leg kicks, which is nasty for, and those long limbs and that amazing elusive striking. Douglas Lima is 3-1 in his last 4 fights. His last loss, questionable, was going against current welterweight champion Rory McDonald, where he lost his motherfucking belt. Cheaters! The hell with you, Scott Coker! Sorry.
I'm getting you a Prozac.
Got off track there. I get really emotional.
Yeah, so does everyone.
Ha! You have no emotion.
Hey.
Cavity Carl. Obviously, my buddy Douglas Lima devastated Lawrence Larkin, which is also a previous UFC vet, for 15 solid minutes in devastating fashion. Before that, knocking the fuck out of Andre Koreshkov. And of course, beating another fighter who is also in the welterweight World Grand Prix tournament in Paul Daly, who's also a devastating striker. Again, we have 2 amazing fighters going at it. I am leaning towards Douglas Lima, obviously. But now Bellator is just gonna have to sit back, put on their fucking seatbelts, and watch Doug Lima climb the motherfucking ranking, break through to the title shot, and take back what is rightfully his from Rory the psychopath serial killing fuckface McDonald. I do think that Doug Lima is gonna be able to take this in the second round, no problem. He's gonna find his opening and get that TKO victory once again against Andre Koreshkov. That is my bet. Next, we have what I think is the best champion versus champion fight ever. Gegard Mousasi, the middleweight champion for Bellator, the UFC vet, Dream vet, Pride fighting vet, the Strikeforce champion. He is going up against Rory fucking McDonald, the current welterweight champion of the Bellator roster. Now, the reason why I say Rory McDonald's a psychopathic serial killing piece of shit No, he's actually pretty cool. But he does look like a serial killer. He kind of does like the straight face where it's like... Rory McDonald obviously is just coming off a fresh win, taking that championship belt against Douglas Lima. Cheater! Hey man.
What?
It's getting really hot. Do you mind if I have some water? Seriously? I gotta drink out of this?
Don't touch it. I want you to drink it like a dog.
Are you for real?
Oh, I don't think I hesitated.
I'm not doing it.
You'll break eventually. You have to drink.
No, I'm not. Who do you think I fucking am? Your slave? I am your slave. Your dog hair's in it.
It's high in riboflavin. Riboflavin?
Can I just pick it out with my hands, please?
Nope.
And before that, Rory McDonald also faced off against Paul Daly. I don't know how Paul Daly's gonna make it anywhere in this fucking welterweight Grand Prix of a fucking tournament. But we're not talking about Paul Daly right now because he's not really fighting, so really I shouldn't give a flying shit about him unless you go back and talk about the fighters that are actually on the card. Rory McDonald probably is one of the most tenacious, vicious fighter that actually might be on the roster. The guy has no emotion, he's fearless, and he goes in there for the kill. He's very devastating. We all saw his title fight back in the UFC against Robbie Lawler. Gegard Mousasi, on the other hand...
Wrong.
Gegard Mousasi, on the other hand, is coming off a 7-fight win streak to be exact. Before that, he lost to Uriah Hall, which he quickly avenged just numerous fights later by devastating knockout fashion. Now, Gegard Mousasi has fought the best of the best. For the most part. I want Gegard Mousasi to win. He is one of my favorite fighters of all time, one of the all-time best vets in the sport. But if anybody remembers, Gegard Mousasi doesn't perform as well when he fights against wrestlers. Obviously, when he fought King Mo, it was ages ago in Strikeforce. The first superior fighter was Gegard Mousasi. But the fact that King Mo had the wrestling advantage, Gegard Mousasi couldn't do anything. But now he's fighting a guy that has the wrestling advantage, chin advantage, and the psychopath advantage. But if I'm gonna go for this fight, I do think it'll go to a 4th round. I think Rory's gonna be able to get this by a TKO from ground and pound. I think he's just gonna keep taking Gegard to the ground and just unload on that ground and pound on those elbows. It's gonna be absolutely devastating. So Rory, congratulations ahead of time. Next up on the card, we have the 4th rematch between Quentin the Rampage Jackson, but he's like really fat now, so it's like kind of like he's having like cardiac arrest while he's doing it, so he's kind of like
Oh, you're getting the hang of it.
Yeah, I'm a listener, like I'm in character, but like I don't want to get this shit kicked out of me. And he's going against my favorite fighter of all time,
What the hell is that?
I'm doing it like the lady did for Pride fighting. I thought it'd be a great effect.
Not even close to letting that happen.
Is this just wider because I feel...
Just your average H2O.
I feel like a bag of decrepit shit right now. Dear Diary, Rampage really f***ed his career right in the ass with a cucumber embedded with f***ing razor blades. The dude is one of the most feared light heavyweight champions of all time, but he let the championship mentality get in the way. Then he started getting high off f***ing Monster Energy drinks. This isn't a sponsor, so like you owe me money, Monster. And he started f***ing running wild in the streets of f***ing Nevada with his monster truck. And then from there, his career started... He came in super fat to all his fights. Look at the last fight against King Mo. He was walking around like 260 pounds. 260 pounds? You are a walrus. You used to be a fighter. That used to mean something to you. You lost a decision against a bum Chael Sonnen. You lost against a decision against another bum in King Mo. You won by split decision against Satoshi Ishii.
Loser.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that. He fucking blows. Before that, he won another mirror decision against Fabio Maldonado. And before that, he won another mirror decision against King fucking Mo. So when are these like knockouts like coming into play, Rampage? And then Wanderlei Silva, don't get me started, bro. Por que Wanderlei Silva no shootbox Brazil? Por que tu faz isso? The most shit-talking feud that could have ever been developed between him and Chael Sonnen in all of MMA history turned out to be the biggest bum fest ever. First of all, Wanderlei Silva clearly isn't taking any PEDs because he's also a little flapperjack himself. His belly and his armpit fat looks like it's sponsored by a crepe company. And I hate saying that because I love the guy, because just the fight before that, he was shredded up fighting Brian Stann in Japan, TKOing his motherfucking ass. The fact of the matter is, Rampage has been way more active, even though way less in shape. And let's just call a spade a spade. All I kept thinking about when this fight was announced was, oh God, Chris Lieben versus Wanderlei Silva. Wanderlei Silva gets all hyped up with this big feud, especially someone that he hates. He doesn't hate anybody more in this world than Chael Sonnen, but also than Rampage Jackson. They have such a feud that goes way back. Wanderlei knocked him twice the hell out. Then he thought it'd be a good idea to take him on for a third time in UFC. He got put out so bad, it was devastating. But now you're back and you're back for it again, man. I can't fucking witness it. So I think this is gonna be a really, really big travesty. I see no way of Wanderlei winning this fight. Game plan's not gonna mean nothing as soon as the ref's like, yeah, fight, because Wanderlei's just gonna go,
You want to fight me?
and then his head's gonna go down, and he's not even gonna look, and he's just gonna
Left, right, 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 left, right.
left, right, left, right, left. Until he gets caught or catches Rampage, but he's not gonna catch Rampage, and if he does, Rampage is a big motherfucker with a huge ass chin. Man, I'm really getting tired. What's in this?
Just your average H2O.
Okay, if you say so. Wanderlei, I love you so much, but like, I think you're gonna die this fight, and I really don't want to see that.
You okay, buddy?
But that's my call, guys. Literally within the first 30 seconds of round one, Wanderlei Silva is going to sleep. That's my prediction, guys.
I hope you like the chloroform.
Chloroform?
About 3 doses too
That
much.
makes sense.